Welcome, everybody, to the Weekly Buzz, powered by Newbook and the American Glamping Association. The Weekly Buzz, your go-to segment for all things glamping. And each week, we sit down with glamping experts from around the globe to bring you their invaluable advice and insights. Whether you're an enthusiast or an industry professional, tune in to discover the latest trends, the tips, the stories that shape the world of glamping. And in today's segment, we are joined by the one and only Tyler Watts, the owner and operator of Broad River, fantastic glamping and RV park operator in North Carolina. Tyler, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me. Look forward to it.
Well, let's jump into it. What's the number one piece of advice you've been given as an operator?
You're going to hear me say this a lot. We are running an outdoor hotel business, is what we're doing here. So I want to reiterate that you need to be thinking in the glamping world. It is a hotel business, except it's outdoor. So that brings in a whole nother world of endless possibilities and operator issues of being able to keep people happy and keep people in your glamping resorts.
And what's a piece of advice that you wish you would have received?
Um, I'll be honest with you, and this is kind of funny, is to go to more conferences before you build a glamping resort. We did not do that, and that's okay. We were still able to muscle through it all, but the all the connections I was looking for came after we built the glamping resort. But it still worked out very well, and we're happy with it. But network, network, network. There's an endless world of knowledge out there. Reach out to people and don't be afraid to call people. We did tour a lot of parks, which I would highly recommend as well.
And if somebody's just starting out, what's the most important thing they should be thinking about and or doing on the front end of the process to set them up for success?
Well, one of the very first things, if you're starting from scratch, is obviously build your network, build a team of partners or investors, which is what we have done. But there's a tremendous amount of work up front, anywhere from engineering to permitting. The number one thing for us as a development group is we will never purchase a piece of property or even an existing property if it's not properly zoned. You'd be surprised out there that there are RV parks, glamping resorts that are not properly zoned. So I would highly recommend that if you are looking at purchasing raw land or purchasing a glamping resort, call your county officials, ask them about it, make sure it's zoned properly. Sometimes people get grandfathered in just because it's been there for 30 years does not mean that when it changes ownership hands that you might get caught holding the bag.
And whether we like it or not, things change and the market changes and the trends change. How do you and Broad River change to the customer preferences, knowing that change is inevitable?
So there's only two constants in life, and that's God and change, right? And so we are ever changing at Broad River Campground. We are ever evolving. This past week or yesterday, matter of fact, we just put up string lights on the decks of the domes because we want to keep a good vibe, a fresh vibe, a cool vibe going. So you have to be willing to adapt. You have to be willing to build a model, but tweak that model along the way. And that's that's the number one thing. And we do it on our social media platforms. We stay fresh. We see what other people's doing. Oh, that's a great idea. What if we put our custom touch on it and tweak it, and then we push it out to our audience? So you have to constantly be engaged with things like that.
And if you look into your crystal ball, can you tell us what's on the horizon? What do you think is going to be on the horizon over the next 5 years within the industry?
So the RV park industry, the glamping resort industry, it has significantly blown up since just 2020, since I've been in the game, right? COVID obviously hit the gas pedal for all of us. So it was a very good timing for me as a park builder and operator to bring it online. But the next 5 years, if you run your business correctly, it will succeed through the good and bad times, just like any other business out there. But as far as the industry goes, it is not weakening. It is getting bigger. It is getting stronger. It is getting more demanding. And if you can keep up with that and you can run your business correctly and run your financial model correctly, operate your business correctly, you should be wildly successful.
And have there been any amenities or experiences that you provide at your property that you almost been surprised that people really gravitate towards?
Yeah, so we put a pool in and we put a little splash pad at one section of it. I didn't know if it'd be a real big hit or not. It's a little shallower in. I thought it would be more for just kind of kids that plan. But we see a lot of adults that love hanging out in that area, and it's a cool, refreshing area to sit down, to get cool and comfortable, and have the water running. So amenities are a huge thing. On our future parks or that we may build or buy or develop, we probably will go more into the splash pad side of the amenities. That seems to be a big attraction for parents and kids. So yeah, it's a ever trending trend out there in the market to continue to provide first class amenities. That's what a lot of people expect nowadays. It's not necessarily a luxury anymore. It's almost a necessity to have that in a larger glamping resort like what we have here. I mean, we're still a small park, but we're not a mom and pop in the backyard glamping resort. We're more of an established one. So highly recommend looking at some good amenities. And you can do that very cheaply as well. We built our own gym mine for like $400, and I think on a July 4th weekend, we sold almost 100 buckets at $10 a bucket. So you can do it very cheaply, maybe not on the pool side of things, but definitely on some of the other smaller amenities like Gaga Pit, horseshoe pits, and gym mining and stuff like that.
Well, Tyler Watts of Broad River Campground, make sure that everybody checks out their website to check out what's new with their operation. And Tyler, thank you so much for joining us, and for all the listeners for making the Weekly Buzz possible. Stay tuned for the next Weekly Buzz next week. Thank you, Tyler.
Hey, thanks.